So hey y'all, it is late at night tonight. I had a long day, but I still wanted to come to you guys and make this video. It's definitely about, Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James. I had my input all day. I've been in people comment sections all day. That's TikTok, Threads, Instagram, Facebook. It's been a debate today, but I wanted to personally come tell you guys my personal feelings about it. So we're gonna start off with the comments that led to this. So ultimately, like we can kind of just go back. So in 2013, LeBron made a Twitter at the time um status saying that Bronny is better than a lot of guys that's in the league. Okay. Fast forward, LeBron gets Bronny into the league. Bronny was the 55th draft pick of last year's NBA draft. And where did he go? He went to the Lakers. Uh, excuse me. So fast forward, Bronny has signed a two-way contract to be part of G League and part of being on the Lakers. So Bronny was averaging like 2 points, if not 2 points, or 0 points, zero assists. So Bronny at the time, he just wasn't putting up the numbers in the NBA per se, but he was putting up numbers in the G League. So a lot of people, including myself, saying that, hey, Bron is doing this because he can, basically. Like, not that he bullied the league, but he kind of did. But Bron is face of the league. But it's like y'all owe Bron so much for carrying this legacy of the face of the league thing for so long. It's like y'all really owe it to that man. So in my defense, is what I'm saying is that I do feel that the league owe it to that man for the hard work, contributions that he done put on for the league and to the league and by the league, and making sure that even with nostalgia we can hold on to, and understanding what face of the league means and carrying it on as a man that's raising a family, and he grew up through the lens of LeBron on track to be this greatest NBA player of all time. So I respect the hustle like Bron. I respect him in Clutch Sports saying, hey, like, I gave y'all this. I'm not asking for so much. I'm about to retire soon. The only request that I ask is that I play with my son. Okay, like for them, for the NBA saying, okay, that's not really a big ask for us. Like that's not really a big thing. It's small. Fine, Brian. Cool. Like it's no problem. So the league was very understanding and appreciative for that because it helped two ways. So Brian get what he want. It still helped with the ratings to see how Bronny do. Um, okay, so now going into the comments that Stephen A. Smith had made uh, about LeBron. It was to the extent to where he wasn't necessarily criticizing Bronny, but more so saying that LeBron, if you know the boy already leading up to this very point in this very game, I believe it was like the Sixers game. If Bronny isn't performing like you say he's supposed to be performing, and he's such a good person, like why are you allowing your son to go through this? But the key words that Stephen A. Smith used was that LeBron, as a father, LeBron, why are you letting your son be out here like this? It's like kind of like Stephen A is saying that LeBron, like you embarrassing yourself and your family by letting this be seen right here in the NBA when we all know he does way better than the G League. Like every time you put him up here, he don't perform. Put him back in the G League, he's performed. So I think personally, because it was a reference to Bronny, not necessarily talk about LeBron, Bronny. LeBron took it personal. Any parent would take it personal when you talk about their child, or any reference to their child, or how it makes you look as a father with your parenting skills. Like, I understand LeBron's stance on that, because regardless of the fact, Stephen A, he felt like, Stephen A, you can say, my child not averaging, da da da. He looked very bad tonight as an NBA status. But once you say, LeBron, I'm pleading with you as a father, bro, that's a new height. Like, you disrespecting me and my family. So I understand LeBron point on that. So that's why it led up to LeBron finally getting a chance, and came to find out LeBron walked up to him in the middle of a game and said something about, like, don't effing talk about my son, bro. Like, don't do that. That part, I definitely felt like if LeBron wanted to stand on business, he definitely should have done it after the game was over with. He felt like that was his time to. Also, at the same time, although LeBron walked up to him, y'all have to understand that this is a controlled environment. Also, LeBron know that if he wanted to get a message across, he could have called Stephen A. Smith like you do everybody else behind the scenes and talk on the phone. He didn't have to make that public. LeBron know when to make stuff public and not. So yeah, I'm criticizing LeBron on that, because LeBron is very calculated, and he know his time and places for stuff. So why do it there? But I understand when you see a man on site, you see them, but do that shit after the game, not in the middle of a timeout in the third quarter. Like, be for real. Like, and I do feel that Stephen A did withhold himself, and he did put himself in a great position. I'm sitting sideline at a game. Like, I'm not gonna get out of character to get kicked out of the game when I'm still here as a basketball analyst that analyzes the game. I'm not gonna mess it up because you walking over here. So that's why the title is Face of the Network and Face of the League. If you guys don't know, Stephen A just got a new contract for $100 million for 5 years, so it's 20 mil a year. And Stephen A he has the highest ratings on ESPN. So it don't matter what channel, if you're talking about CBS, Fox, or anywhere else, Stephen A is producing numbers, and he is the number one analyst on all networks covering sports. So regardless of what you want to call it, just like LeBron is the face of the NBA, Stephen A. Smith is the face of the network. Period. And all roads really lead to ESPN. Now getting to the Stephen A. Smith part. Stephen A. Smith, I personally say that two things can be right at the same time. Or technically two things can be wrong at the same time. Because I can agree with LeBron on two things and point out two things that's wrong on LeBron end, two things that's correct on Stephen A. end, and two things that was wrong on Stephen A. end as well. So, two things I felt Stephen A. done right. I believe Stephen A. had himself at his composure at the game. And I do feel that Stephen A. I do believe Stephen A. was right about how all the context he said, except for calling LeBron James out as a father. If he would have left that part out of it, I think everything else would have went well. Not even that would have went well, but it would have been understandable. But to call LeBron James out as a father, I don't necessarily agree with that part. But I definitely do agree that everything else that Stephen A. said in that statement, it was true. A lot of us that watch sports was thinking that. A lot of us gave our own analysis on Bronny's performance based off of how LeBron hyped him up to be. LeBron put this out there. If LeBron don't want a narrative to get out, LeBron wouldn't let it out. Period. So for the fact that LeBron is broadcasting and putting his son up to say, hey, if my son gets to the league, like, hey, he can ball. So we still remembering that tweet that he put out looking at the results, it's like Bron just aged poorly. Okay. But anyway, like I get why Stephen A said what he said, just based off his performance to what you wanted it to be, based off the narrative that you, LeBron James, put out. So I agree with Stephen A's statement. I just don't agree with Stephen A putting the father part in it, because I would feel slighted or disrespected too if you would say anything about me and my parenting. Because I decided to basically, if you per se take a gamble, hype my son up, and put him on Front Street, and it aged poorly. So maybe LeBron could be mad about it aging poorly. Another thing that I do give Stephen A. Smith is the way that within hours he did go on ESPN and he did say his piece. Stephen A. Smith never shied away that he had bosses. Stephen A. Smith has a right to defend himself in all matters, because even though Stephen A. Smith is media, like, it's still other media outlets that's going to take this and run with it. So I'm glad that he addressed it. I just feel like Stephen A. Smith he was wrong for the pleading with LeBron as a father part. Like that, now that part you could have called LeBron James on. Like, you could still give your analysis of what you gave. Because I personally agree with Stephen A. take. But he could have called LeBron on the side too, just as well as say, LeBron, as a father, bro, like, I really can't tell you how to parent, but what you did to your son, like, you put him in like a harm's way, because at the end of the day, yes, Bronny your son, but Bronny is still a basketball player. So yes, people had the right to criticize Bronny, but in this instance, he didn't necessarily. It's like a kind of like a backhanded comment. Like, he didn't necessarily call Bronny name, but he still criticized Bronny based off what LeBron did. And if LeBron see that Bronny ain't producing results in the in the NBA, LeBron should have said, "All right, like, you just be playing the rest of it in the G League. Like, we don't need no smear campaign on your name, Bronny. If you do bad a couple of games, like, we're gonna have to just take you out, Bronny, to like just protect the brand." And I think, as we know, LeBron, as far as protecting the brand with the family, with all of that, it's like, I understand why Stephen A. saying, like, LeBron, you really want this out here? Like, you really want Bronny out here not producing like this, so all this kickback coming on you? I just didn't agree with the father part. That's it. I agree with everything else. And yes, LeBron, your as of right now, your tweet is aging poorly. It's aging poorly. You said that Bronny is better than a lot of the cats in the NBA. And he's not right now. Like, if he was anybody else, Bronny was anybody else, he wouldn't even be like on the bench. Like, Bronny will be sitting on a bench if he was anybody else. So at the end of the day, LeBron, the only reason why he getting in is because of you. The only reason why he is here because of you. So you have to take some credit for that. Do I think LeBron is a great player? Yes. Do I think that he make decisions best to benefit him? Yes, I do. And he don't care how the world look at it. So I respect LeBron for that. Does it have Bronny looking some type of way? Yes, we do understand that Bronny had an incident where he was at USC. He had a heart attack. I think he passed away or came back. That's alleged though. And he didn't get to score much in college because he did have that heart issue, from my understanding. So a lot of people was already saying, Bron, why draft him? Just give him another year in college so he can still get developed, you know? So I see both sides of the story, and do I feel like LeBron had every right in his feelings the way that he felt about Stevie? Everybody interprets stuff different. Like, do I feel that LeBron should stand on business about him, about you saying something in reference to my son? about my parenting. Yeah, Bron, stand on business. Stand on business. And Stephen A got a right to say, hey, I'm standing on business about my tape because LeBron, all of this narrative stuff, us seeing Bronny like this, we would not see Bronny like this in the NBA if it wasn't for you. So yeah, so LeBron standing on his take too. So Stephen A standing on his take too. So yes, two things can be right and two things can be wrong about this situation. And I just truly, truly believe that on this end, I'm on Stephen A's side for 99% of it, except for using the words as a father. That's the part just definitely feel like he should have called him on. But other than that, I'm on Stephen A. Smith's side. I'm standing on business because at the end of the day, your son should be able to get criticized. Like, you already mad that people already criticize you, Bron. And that's where the whole other argument came in at, as far as Ant-Man made his comments about the face of the league. They asked LeBron about the face of the league, about he understand why Ant-Man feel like that just based off his personal height of going here to becoming the face of the league. And Stephen A said, hey, bro, like, I got a problem with you saying that too. So it's so much stuff that done led up to this moment that what then happened within like a month or so time per se. I can understand why LeBron feel the way he feel. But at the end of the day, Stephen A. Smith still has to defend himself at the end of the day. Like, you just can't walk up on me. And LeBron knew, like, regardless of the fact that he walked on, that's still a controlled environment. Like, and really, LeBron, what would you gonna do? You really won't. You won't do nothing. You won't go and stand on business. You won't hit Stephen A. You won't do nothing. But standing up for your family, bro, I respect it. But at the end of the day, you made these choices here, so that the world can. The world don't have to, but you gave us the opportunity to criticize Bronny, and that we wouldn't be putting Bronny to a certain expectation if you wouldn't have put him in the NBA. A lot of things could be talked about Bronny if he was still in the college level and he was performing like that. Like, if you had Bronny on Bronny signed a 2-way contract for being a year at USC and being a year at G League, maybe this conversation would be completely different. And not saying that Bronny can't grow into a great NBA player. Right now, based off what Bron put out and the narrative that Bron started, he's not living up to the expectations that you yourself as his father put him out to be. And sometimes that reality has to hit like that. Hopefully, there will be a better understanding. I still don't believe there's a better understanding of this, because at the end of the day, if Bronny get put in the game, he got to be criticized, and LeBron gonna have to take it, because he's now a NBA player, and NBA players got to get criticized, because everybody got to think about, hey, this year, it don't matter if you Chris Paul and you in for 9 minutes, I expect you to produce. So yeah, Bronny, like, they're making packages for you. Like, JJ Redick and LeBron is making packages designed for Bronny. So when Bronny go out there and execute and go out there and attempt to execute the package that they designed for him to go in, and he don't make the shot, I mean, like, y'all, come on. Like, really, y'all go back and go look at when JJ Redick put him in, or sometimes Bron to sub him out. Go look back at the game, because I watched games, so I know what type of packages that they created for Bronny. Every time they sub Bronny in, I went back and looked and did my analysis for that. So I know the packages that they made for Bronny to produce in, and Bronny did not produce in the packages that JJ Redick and LeBron made up for him. He just didn't do it, and it's unfortunate. So, Bron, you will have to put on your grown man pants and get out your father bag when you playing, when you are personally subbing this boy in and he don't make the shot, or when he passed, he don't make the assist. Bron, you gonna have to say, you gonna have to just cut that out for a minute. Like, you gonna have to figure out your guidelines, and maybe I feel like you should just come out and tell the world. Come out and tell the world what you feel your guidelines should be for your son. So either we, the media, can adhere to it, depending on who it is, or not adhere to it. But at least we understand your standards, or which you feel like we, the media, should go by. Also, I just hope that LeBron does that so we can all come to an understanding. Because when Bronny's on the floor, we're gonna criticize Bronny. It don't matter if he was the 12th. It don't matter if it was anybody else that's the 12th man off the bench. If the 12th man get off the bench and he do something, yeah, we're gonna big up that 12th man up. Just like for a good person to talk about right here is like DiVincenzo. So DiVincenzo, he made bucket, he made threes, right? He was on the New York Knicks. That was last year, before he got traded. So DiVincenzo don't get in at all the time, but when it's time to bring the score closer or to get up, DiVincenzo come in and do his job to package and say, hey, we're gonna switch this out. This is DiVincenzo package, and DiVincenzo go ahead and do your thing, and DiVincenzo wop and get it done, It's no issue, it's no problem, because at the end of the day, you are playing for the NBA. It's only a certain amount of NBA players of the world we expecting you to produce coming off the bench. Straight up. Another argument that's being held is also comparing Coach Prime and Shedeur to LeBron and Bronny. Now, for the people that's listening, I'm going to explain why this topic came up, and I'm going to help you decipher it, although it's two different sports. So, for example, we have fathers here, which is Coach Prime and LeBron, and they are, let's say, the best in their field. The best, you can't tell them nothing. They do it. They go to in their field. Ain't no other way around it. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, when they put their kids in certain situations, whether that's Shedeur being quarterback or not, and Bronny going out there to ball, they put their kids in these limelights, not intentionally. That's just these kids' life. You see what I'm saying? But when you put these kids in sport, it's different, because now we are grading these kids on what you said they to be, what you said them to be, and what they producing out here in their field, in their field. So I understand the argument, but we not finna sit up here and say that, Bronny and LeBron is matching up to LeBron and Shedeur. We not finna say that. Cause when Shedeur's on that field, Shedeur's balling out. Shedeur has like an 86% completion pass in the last minute or so on last drive. Shedeur's winning the game. You putting Bronny out there for 2 minutes, even 9 minutes. Bronny ain't even make an assist. Bronny just running up and down the field. Down the court when the package is designed for him to shoot the ball. So no, I'm not with that argument, but I understand that we do gotta hold our greats and cherish them. Yes, but the difference is that one person's son is showing the results. Like, Coach Ryan can't go out there and ball for Shedeur, and LeBron can't go out there and go ball out for Bronny. So these are the two situations where you look at where you have fathers involved, in their child's career. But it's up to the child to be a dog or not. And you can just see the difference in Shador being a dog versus Bronny not being a dog. Bronny not a dog. He not a dog. And that's okay. Bronny don't have to be a dog. But his father held him up here with that tweet, talk all about him in the interview to the media, hyping up Bronny and what he is compared to other players. And now Bronny is now in this league, and he's not producing the way that you say. So that's the issue. That's the issue. I believe I broke it down as best that I could. And it's not to shit on Bronny. It's not to do that. It's not to feel like, not to say that LeBron isn't doing all he can do. But what I will say is that LeBron put the narrative out there for his son. LeBron started the whole narrative train for his son to lead up to these moments. So, yeah, LeBron, you're going to have to take the heat as well as your son. Unfortunately, because you put your son in this compromising position to where he's not producing. To where Coach Prime put his son in these positions. And he producing. That's just it, y'all. So I wanted to come to y'all, talk to y'all about this. It's been heavy on my heart today. For clarity again, I am on Stephen A. Smith's side. I'm not changing my stance on it. What Stephen A. said was correct, and I agree with him. The only thing I disagree with him about was about saying, LeBron, I'm pleading with you as a father. That's the only part. Everything else down to LeBron. Why would you put this boy out here like this? I'm in full agreement with it. Because that part, Stephen A., you could have left out, say, as a father, I'm pleading with you. Father to father. Well, if it's a father to father, that's a phone call. That's a pickup phone call to LeBron. That part right there, you should have just left out. But other than that, I myself, I got a YouTube channel. I don't necessarily cover it. I talk about the sports. But that's my take on it, and I'm leaving it at that.